Antonio starts right now.
Hi, happy Friday. We made it to July 25th. What a week has it been, and what a busy morning we had on GMSA Plus streaming earlier, right before we walked into the studio.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun, but we got to get to something big and breaking right now. RJ Marquez, we hinted at this earlier. He's been very, very busy with all things Project Marvel and a big meeting coming up in just a few hours, RJ.
That's right, guys. So big breaking news when it comes to our San Antonio Spurs and coming from the Spurs and the future of Project Marvel itself. So the Spurs Arena, as we've been reporting throughout the entire morning here, is back on the agenda in today's special city council meeting. Mayor Jeannie Ortiz-Jones called that meeting to once again look at the costs, and this morning we're getting some numbers from the Spurs. So again, this is the first time that they have shared details of their plans for this potential arena. In a letter from Spurs chairman, you see him right there, Peter J. Holt, to city manager Eric Walsh and the city council. Holt says that the Spurs and their partners are willing to invest over $1 billion to get this new arena built. So let's break down some of the figures here that they have shared with us. This is $500 million to the arena itself and guaranteed coverage of the cost of overruns. Now $500 million in adjacent downtown development and $60 million in additional community incentives. Now this proposal also includes incentives for some local businesses as part of getting this new arena built. Now SSNE would underwrite via park and ride for up to 2,000 single game primary ticket buyers and make 500 tickets available for every Spurs home game at less than $35 or less. So there's been a lot of discussion about the cost to potentially go to a Spurs game in the downtown area. SSNE also proposing underwriting a new policy targeting early childhood education and childcare in the community. So we actually spoke with Mayor Jones last night about some of these latest developments. Here's a little bit of what she had to say.
Reporting has shown that, the Spurs are asking the city for $500 million, and they're looking to themselves chip in $500 million. Again, there's we've got to make sure the numbers make sense for our community. And folks are, are asking, can we get some of that concession money? Can we get some of that parking? Can we get It's because I think in folks' minds, it's not just how do we pay for it, but again, it's also how does the community benefit?
So I think with this letter, the Spurs are trying to answer some of those concerns that Mayor Jones may have there. Again, this is all expected to be discussed during today's city council meeting, which is happening at 1 o'clock this afternoon on a Friday. And guys, you kind of alluded to this earlier. It's a little rare that they have this in the middle of summer. So obviously this is some pretty big developments when it comes to Project Marvel and the Spurs Arena. We're of course going to have that for you on all of our platforms, KSAT.com, live stream as well. So some big breaking news from Spurs Chairman Peter J. Holt.
Very important. And you were talking earlier, this is a lot of money, but other teams are putting in the money as well. Yeah,
so the recent trend has been that a new arena for an NBA team, NBA franchise, costs anywhere from about $1 billion to 1.5, which is what the Spurs are projected. Now in LA, they built the new Clippers arena. Yep. That was $2 billion, but that was all privately funded.
Steve Ballmer paid for
Steve
that,
Ballmer, yeah. Yes, of course, Steve Ballmer, billionaire Steve Ballmer. So now the new Thunder Arena, which was approved by the city, Oklahoma City, they approved it, but that's with very little investment from the ownership group in Oklahoma City. I believe it's only something in terms of reported anywhere from $5 to $10 million, and the city is going to be footing the rest of that bill. But as you mentioned earlier, Ernie, obviously the Thunder just won a title, so there's a lot of momentum when it comes to that stadium push, that arena push. And one thing that Peter J. Holt has kind of told us over time, not only myself but other media outlets, is that while the Spurs valuation is over $3 billion, according to latest reports from Forbes and some of these other sites that do this, he said that that's not liquid money, that in order for them to compete with the other NBA franchises, they need to kind of find these other revenues, these other opportunities to get some of this money, get some of this funding, which some of it, my understanding, will be through some of the reinvestment, the tax zones, which we've reported on extensively over the past year or so. So this is going to be money coming in from a lot of different places, but obviously the Spurs are basically putting their chips on the table right here, and we should get some more details later today.
Well, this was the next domino to fall, if you will. We had a lot of people had been waiting to see what the number would look like, and now we're getting some indication on that. So.
Yeah, guys, so we have a full article on KSAT.com. I know that was a lot of information to kind of get through with some of the community incentives, but really kind of the big headline here is that the Spurs, again, they are saying that they're willing to invest over $1 billion to get this new arena built. They have already said that they do not plan to be at the Frostbank Center past 2032 when that lease ultimately runs out. So 7 years from now is kind of the timeline.
Might seem like forever, but it'll get here
quick.
That's a blink of an eye. And when it comes to stadiums and downtown infrastructure.
Yeah.
So thank you, sir.
Absolutely. Thanks,
All right,
guys.
he will continue to work on that through the noon hour and beyond. So we'll check in with RJ again in just a little bit.
Keep us posted.
He will. No doubt he will. All right, live cam right now on a Friday, final Friday of the month of July, and no doubt a month that will be remembered for many, many years to come as it relates to the weather, Shelby.
Yeah, Ernie and Steph, for sure. I mean, at the beginning of the month, we saw heavy, devastating flooding, and we're still thinking about all those affected. And then it was very average for our temperatures. We didn't really see any near record-breaking heat, and we only saw a few degrees where we were above average. But right now in San Antonio, we're still sitting fairly comfortable at 81 degrees, 80 degrees in areas of New Braunfels, 82 in Del Rio, still sitting a few degrees cooler in Bernie. And right now, we're seeing some of that rain we've been talking about, but it is still just out of our neck of the woods. It's past Victoria. We're starting to see a light chance of some sort of light shower in LaGrange, Hallettsville, but most of it's still to areas near Houston. And this is all associated with that upper level disturbance, that upper level low we've been talking about. And it's going to continue to bring us rain chances starting today, going through Saturday, and finally leaving as we get closer and closer to Sunday and Monday. But once again, as it rotates counterclockwise, all that moisture from the Gulf that it's been allowed to just sit there and gather is going to get pushed into areas of South Texas. Now, I do want to show you one more thing. Today, although it is still low, most of the chances of any sort of issues with the heavy rain is still going to be to the east of us, but I'll show you what we can expect for today and the rain chances going forward to the weekend coming up in just a bit.
Thank you, Shelby. Let's take a quick look out there with TransGuide. For the most part, things look pretty good. Some construction, but for this Friday morning, things are moving there at 281 at Thousand Oaks and Loop 410 at Cherry Ridge.
All right, very good. Well, more than 33,000. That's how many people are living with Alzheimer's here in Bexar County. And the cost to provide care can leave many families with little to no help.
Well, Meals on Wheels San Antonio is looking to help more families by introducing new lower rates at their Alzheimer's Center. So the more affordable option is not only helping the families, it's also helping those suffering with the disease live a better life.
The tree.
Lupe Cardenas has been living with Alzheimer's since 2020. However, here at the Grace Place Alzheimer's Center, she's been happy.
My mom, she's a girly girl. She loves to get her nails done, loves to get her hair done, loves all her clothes matching.
Lupe's daughter, Laura Hernandez, told me her mom has been coming to Grace Place for more than a year.
Alzheimer's does take a lot as a caregiver out of you, but when you bring them here with somebody that you trust, you know that you can go home and do the things that you need to do.
However, from medical bills to paying for this type of help, it got costly for Laura and her family, which is why they had to stop bringing Lupe to Grace Place, but just for a short time. So while dealing with the rising cost of running a facility like Grace Place, Meals on Wheels Director of Marketing Ariana Barber says they still recognize the need for more affordable care. So they lowered their rates, allowing Laura to bring her mom back this past June.
We have found is that the sooner someone comes to us and is engaging on a regular basis and socializing with people and getting to do our activities, the longer you have that person that you know with you.
Tell us how this has, helped you as well.
It helps being able to bring mom to somewhere that we know that she's being very well taken care of.
Laura tells us this allows her to help her dad with her mom. And she has more time for her grandchildren.
I have a 7, 5, 3.5, and 3. So I have 4. 3 are boys, 1 little princess granddaughter. And so spending time with them, it just gives me joy.
Laura also told me her mom is thriving here.
So she's happy. Every day when he picks her up, she's extremely happy.
It was awesome meeting Laura and, of course, her mom, Lupe, over there at Grace Place. So you can find out more about Grace Place on the Meals on Wheels website. We'll have that posted later in the day. And then also, just to give people an idea, the Grace Place, they extended their hours as well because they know that working schedule. So it's from 7:30 in the morning to 6 p.m. and it's Monday through Friday. So you can check it out on their website and later on our website at KSAT.com.
And you heard right, Meals on Wheels. I just learned they even provide this kind of service.
Yes, this was news to me as well, but it's a very nice place and they have room for more people right now.
Awesome. Okay. Very good. All right. moving along, time for today's 9 at 9.
Yes, pressure is mounting over the release of Jeffrey Epstein-related files, and it's coming from both sides of the aisle. The Justice Department is actively investigating, with Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche meeting for 6 hours on Thursday with Ghislaine Maxwell in Florida. That meeting is expected to continue today. Meanwhile, President Donald Trump is pushing back on social media, accusing critics of trying to distract from his record as calls grow louder for transparency in this case.
And President Trump signed a $9 billion spending cuts package. It includes cuts to foreign aid programs approved by Congress and funding for the Corporation for Public Broadcasting. It also makes permanent recommended cuts from the Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE. Mr. Trump also signed the Filing Relief for Natural Disasters Act. This law lets the IRS delay tax deadlines for people affected by state-declared disasters.
Well, Texas Democratic lawmakers criticized a Republican-led redistricting effort Thursday at the state capitol. The House Redistricting Committee met, but the chair said there's no bill or new map to review. Governor Greg Abbott added redistricting to this month's special session, and this follows a Justice Department letter calling the current maps unconstitutional. However, the committee chair said he sees no evidence the current map violates the Voting Rights Act.
This morning, tributes are pouring in for one of wrestling's biggest icons. Fellow wrestlers, fans, and even politicians are remembering Hulk Hogan, who died yesterday at the age of 71. Hogan, known worldwide for his larger-than-life persona, passed away in Florida after suffering cardiac arrest. Police say there were no signs of any foul play.
Well, Google says its AI-powered feature that allows you to try on clothes virtually is now available to millions more users. So online shoppers can upload a photo, then move a picture of the item over to your body to see how it will look on you. And this only takes about 15 seconds.
It's pretty quick.
Yeah.
All right. Stamp lovers will get a shot at a reprint. The United States Post Office will reissue one of these popular 25 stamps it has printed in the past. Which one? Well, that's up to you. USPS will re-release whichever stamp gets the most votes. You can vote at stampsforever.com/vote.
So many choices.
Yeah.
Well, a new and improved iPhone, Apple says the iOS 26 features upgraded phone and message apps, along with enhancements to its AI-powered visual intelligence. It also has a new games app.
All right, it's about to be Miller time all over the place. Miller Lite is celebrating its 50th anniversary with a giveaway. The brand is giving away 50,000 free beers at nearly 500 bars across the country. They'll be available starting on August 1st, which, of course, is International Beer Day.
Well, Lego is offering a replica of the original Nintendo Game Boy. You remember this one? The handheld Game Boy video game system came out in 1989. The Lego set, this has 421 bricks, comes with 2 non-playable game cartridges, and The Legend of Zelda, Link's Awakening, and Super Mario Land. The Lego sets are currently available for pre-order and will be for sale in stores on October 1st. And the price? $59.99.
Cheaper than the actual Game Boy itself.
Yes.
Back in the day.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That took me back. We were reminiscing this morning before you came in just about the 80s and video games and all. Did you play?
Pac-Man,
okay.
Atari,
yeah.
Before Nintendo.
No, I remember.
But my brothers progressed and moved on to Nintendo, and I kind of just was still hanging out with Pac-Man.
Yeah, back then that was like long before these phones came out and everything.
Yes,
that was
so
a
big
cool.
thing.
It was a
Yeah.
big deal, and it couldn't get any better.
Yes.
Couldn't get any better.
At the time.
At the time. 9/11 right now, 81 degrees, still ahead on GMSA at 9.
Well, grocery price updates at local H-E-B and Walmart on things like beans, eggs, and more staple foods. We're going to have a look at those after the break. Oh, welcome back. It's 9:15, and this morning we are continuing to keep a close eye on the cost of food staples that you buy every day. So KSAT has been tracking grocery prices on and off for several years now, and here's the list of items that we are tracking for you right now at H-E-B and at Walmart. So these 15 staples include beans, sandwich meat, bread, and eggs, and we went shopping at the same 2 grocery stores in different parts of town. At H-E-B, those items totaled up to $50.33, so that is slightly down from $51 last month.
Now over at Walmart, the subtotal was $47.53, but that's actually slightly higher than June's subtotal of $46.26. Now keep in mind these prices might not reflect what you're seeing at your nearest grocery store, even though it might be the same supermarket chain. Sometimes prices vary depending on where you live, so just be mindful of that and happy shopping.
Yes, happy shopping.
I know I went grocery shopping yesterday in fact, and it was so warm, I had to get some ice cream.
Oh, of course. That's what we need to buy right now.
It's so hot yesterday, I had to get some ice cream.
It's a good treat.
It's a nice little sweet treat,
Yeah.
but today is a little bit of a change. So I know we were talking about the heat the last few days, and then today we're actually tracking the rain. Here's a look at authority radar currently. Right now, we are not really seeing anything. Yes, there is some areas where we're seeing some feedback and even maybe some light rain over in Concan, Sabinal, and even going into areas of Uvalde. But for us in San Antonio, where you see that green, that's all just feedback. Now, once again, most of the rain is still just to the east of us. We're talking just past LaGrange, just south of College Station, really along I-10 near Sealy, Belleville, Rosenberg, Needville, going all the way down through Wharton, Bay City, Palacios, and that's going to continue to make its way into San Antonio over the next few days, especially over today. Here's a look what we're currently sitting at. Temperatures right now, waking up, going outside, feeling very nice and comfortable, sitting at about 81 in San Antonio, 82 Del Rio, still sitting in the 70s up in Bernie and Kerrville. But today, once again, we will continue to see the temperatures really increase. We're expecting the temperatures to get to about 96 degrees in San Antonio. And then once again, that's a multitude of factors. We're seeing those clear skies right now, but as we head throughout the next few hours, that cloud coverage is going to start to appear because of the chances of some rain. So here's the setup of why we're seeing the rain chances. Here's what we're looking at. That high pressure system currently in areas of Arkansas, that's been the weather maker the last few days. That's been giving us the warmer temperatures. But that low, that's just off the coast of Mexico, just near Brownsville, and that's giving the rain already in some areas. We're talking about already starting to see that push, that counterclockwise push of that moisture in those showers in areas of East Texas, like I just mentioned, in between Houston here and San Antonio, and even trying to see some thunderstorms spark to get closer to move to Corpus Christi. Now for today, here's your future cast. I want to go straight into it to show you the potential for today. Now, once again, seeing the rain continue over the next few hours here in South Central Texas. If my computer, there we go. So over the next few hours, we're going to continue to just see that light showers of some in San Antonio. But tonight, specifically around 6 p.m., there is a chance of a few brief downpours. Once again, that's going to be to the east of us and to the south of us, especially along the coastal plains. That's where we're tracking the heavier chance of some showers and thunderstorms. Tonight, though, some of these can make its way into San Antonio, but that's why it's still a 30% chance of rain. And it's going to continue tonight into tomorrow morning. By about 7 a.m., we see a very small chance of a weakening. Basically, just smaller bit of a break from some rain. But even then, it picks back up tomorrow. Once again, mostly areas to the east. And we're starting to see more of that sea breeze, chances of some showers and thunderstorms. It's also starting to mix with some daytime heating, even despite the cloud coverage, still having that chance for more showers and thunderstorms. Even as we get to Sunday morning, it's going to be a little calmer Saturday night into Sunday morning, but we're still going to start to see a few of those pop-ups already by the time we get to Sunday morning. And that's going to continue to really be the last day we're seeing the chance of some showers. Here's a look at the rainfall chances over the next few days. I included the nights because that's also important, because today into tomorrow, we're still continuing that 30% chance of rain. Tonight, Saturday night, we're still having that chance of about a 30% chance of rain. And then Sunday night, that's when we really start to see the rain taper off, seeing a drier air mass come into areas of South Central Texas. And once again, here's your 7-day forecast, wrapping it up in a nice little bow for you. Still seeing the chances of rain this week, quieting down on Monday and Tuesday. Temperatures rebounding back into the 90s as we don't have as much cloud coverage, so we are still going to sit a few degrees warmer before more rain chances, guys, next week.
Back to the 90s. We'll take the lower 90s.
Oh, lower 90s will feel great.
And more importantly, what flavor ice cream did you get?
Oh, yeah. Did you buy?
I got just vanilla. I got a Blizzard from Dairy Queen.
Oh, nice.
So it was vanilla with some
treat.
Reese's in it.
Texas stop sign. Thank you, Shelby.
Good
Very
idea.
Okay.
Good idea.
Well played. Well played. All right, much more to get to here on GMSA at 9. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. It is 9:24, and this week on Pickup Lines, we're going to hear from a local media executive and producer who has built her empire over decades. It includes work in digital, print, television, and a lot more.
She's been doing all of this in the downtown area, and you may have had no idea. But Cecily Armstrong grew up on the South Side with her single mother and a father who worked in newspapers. So Cecily eventually went to Marshall High School before leaving for New York City on a dance scholarship and pursuing her passion for magazines and publishing. Her work took her to Los Angeles, where she rubbed elbows with celebrities and covered their fashion.
I loved growing up in San Antonio, and I was always an incredibly proud San Antonian in New York and LA. I mean, really, like, I wasn't one of those people who was like, oh no, I'm from,
Right.
you know, I was, and so, many times, Ernie, that worked to my detriment.
Yeah?
Yeah, I had to really, you know, I became quite a big, well-known magazine editor at the time when magazines were everything.
Yeah.
My timing was very good.
Yeah, her timing's been good on a lot of things. In this episode, Cecily also recounts her days as a kid reporter during Hemisphere back in 1968, and also how she ended up on the set of Steven Spielberg's film directorial debut here in San Antonio in the 70s in the movie The Sugarland Express starring Goldie Hawn. The latest episode of Pickup Lines premieres this afternoon on the free KSAT Plus app, or you can watch it now on KSAT.com. Just search Pickup Lines. All right, much more to get to here on GMSA at 9. We'll be right back. Hi, bottom of the hour here on GMSA at 9. This morning we have new details about what led up to a deadly shooting. Police say this all started with a meetup to buy jewelry. At some point, the victim agreed to go with the suspect to Mardell Street to ultimately buy marijuana. That's not far from I-10 and Vance Jackson Road. When they got there, officers say the suspect pulled out a gun and robbed the victim at gunpoint. As the suspect was walking away, the robbery victim pulled out his own gun and shot the suspect. The man was taken to a hospital where he later died. It's not clear what charges, if any, will be filed in this case.
Well, you may remember a video capturing a man trying to evade ICE by hiding in a tree back in April. Well, this morning he is on his way to being deported for a second time. So yesterday, a federal judge released Raul Ical to ICE agents to start the deportation process. Now, according to ICE, Ical is a Guatemalan national who faced federal criminal charges for illegal re-entry after deportation. Now, back on April 29th, Ical fled authorities during a traffic stop on the west side. He hid in a tree for at least 6 hours before he came down and was arrested.
On their mother's 79th birthday, the family of Pauline Diaz could not celebrate. They say their mom is still missing, and it's been almost 15 years since she was last seen. On December 7th of 2010, Pauline was last seen walking out of the HEB she worked at on the Southeast Military Drive. Just down the road is where her two daughters, Juanita and Paula, come every year, holding signs and holding out hope that someone with answers will come forward.
So this is what we have to do to be her voice, to find her and bring her back home.
Getting justice for their mother has pushed Juanita and her sister to help other families. They've worked with Search and Support San Antonio, and they spent time over the last 2 weeks in Kerr County. Her team was looking for missing people after the deadly Hill Country floods.
Well, the future of a wastewater treatment plant in northwestern Bexar County is in the hands of the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality. So the people living along Scenic Loop have been fighting it for years, and they say it will make San Antonio's drinking water unusable.
All right, so what can you do if you do not want this wastewater treatment plant approved? Our Sarah Acosta went to a nonprofit to find out.
The biggest concern is if this project was to happen and they build this waste plant, is that water safe to drink, especially for all of San Antonio residents?
The short answer is no. It's not safe to drink.
You may have heard about the concerns surrounding a possible wastewater treatment plant that'd be built in northwest Bexar County. It's for a 2,500 home development project called Guajolote Ranch, and researchers say that treated wastewater would not be safe to drink. And locals say it would damage our delicate aquifer system, environment, and health of our city. The Texas Commission of Environmental Quality, the TCEQ, will decide if it's going to grant those permits for this wastewater treatment facility. So what can you do if you don't agree with this? Environment Texas says call the governor's office because he's the one that appoints those on TCEQ.
And I recommend to the public that if you want your voice heard, best to go to the elected official, not the appointed.
That means anyone, not just the people who live there who are already fighting this.
Public comment line for the governor's office where you can leave a voicemail and register your opinion. That's a real simple thing people could do. You could write a letter, but then absolutely, if you contact the lieutenant governor, to contact your state representative or state senator.
He says the governor, lieutenant governor, state legislators, keep those calls and letters coming. And then there's social media.
The public build enough power to overcome the power of that corporation. And so I think social media is an important part of that, because the more the word gets out, and in fact, I've seen this exact issue get a lot of traction online.
Or Sarah Costa did reach out to Lennar, the construction company behind the proposed Guajolote Ranch development, several times.
So far, the company has not granted us an interview on the issues raised by the residents and researchers about the potential impacts of the wastewater treatment facility, but we know Sarah will continue those efforts, and we'll let you know if that changes.
Look out there with live cam this morning. Warming up a little bit, but I mean, we can still handle that 81 degrees.
Oh, compared to yesterday's 100 degrees, today is a piece of cake right now. But the cloud coverage, when we just saw on live cam, we're starting to see a little bit of that higher level cloud coverage continue to creep into San Antonio, and that's going to allow our temperatures to be a little bit more at bay today in those mid to low 90s. But right now in San Antonio, we are still seeing that sunshine. Temperatures still at 81 degrees, still 80 in New Braunfels, 82 Del Rio, still sitting in the 70s in the Hill Country. And throughout the next few hours, we will continue to see the cloud coverage turn to partly cloudy skies, and the rain chances return to about a 20% chance and even a 30% chance as we go throughout your evening hours due to that extra moisture coming in from the Gulf. Now, here's what your peak temperatures are going to look like today. Areas just to the east and to the south where we're going to see that chance for more rain will continue to be a little on the cooler, or will continue to be a little cooler, but areas out west near the Rio Grande will still once again be warmer. Right now, take a look at authority radar, still seeing some light rain activity well to the east of us, but don't forget, it is going to creep closer and closer to San Antonio starting today through Sunday, and it's going to be very sporadic and very brief at the downpours, but we're not expecting them to be that severe. We're not expecting any hail or anything, and flooding is unlikely, but there is that chance where some areas can see localized amounts of 1 to 2 inches of rain. I'll break down your future cast and tell you what the risks and where they are coming up in just a bit, guys.
Thank you, Shelby. Well, there have been thousands of first responders who have made their way across the country and globe to help families in the Hill Country.
So that work, of course, can take a toll, but thankfully there is help on the ground from the Texas Emergency Medical Task Force. And it's not just the people helping, it's the four-legged friends, too. This right here is Rudy, who's been helping people for years as a therapy dog. And he, along with some of the other trained mental health professional first responders, are doing a very important job for those working hard day after day to help recover and give people closure.
The Emergency Medical Task Force is deployed by the state of Texas to come to natural disasters or large-scale events where a lot of first responders are needed. And that task force of peer support is made up of first responders with counseling, training, talking to, comforting, and sharing stories with crews, because they say that mental health is important for the neighbors affected by the floods, along with the first responders working on them, even if it's just for a few minutes at a time during meals.
It's huge. I mean, it's very impactful for just decompressing. These guys are out here for days and days away from their families and dealing with really difficult scenes. So we're going to work on continuing to make this a thing.
Now, the EMTF says, along with working on shorter conversations for first responders in between breaks, they also have resources for them for longer-term care closer to home in different parts of Texas. Meanwhile, flood warning systems are at the top of the list for the special session underway at the Texas Capitol in Austin. While many people have smoke detectors or a carbon monoxide detector, one Hill Country man is asking, why don't families have their own flood detectors? Well, one person we spoke with, Rodney Madla, has more than 30 years working in wastewater management. He's developing a flood detection device, what you see right there. It uses a float that warns of rising water levels.
Well, here's how it works. The cable runs from a box to a float on the water, and when the float lifts too much, it sets off an alarm on the property. Madla says his device is also Wi-Fi capable and can send alerts to phones and tablets. He is working toward getting a patent for his device and believes it can be produced for under $3,000 a unit.
Well, help after a disaster usually starts off strong and then kind of tapers off, but long after the Guadalupe River returned to its normal limits, volunteers from around the country continue to help the Hill Country. Volunteers from Mississippi, California, Indiana, even as far away as Alaska, are still on the ground helping the Hill Country recover and rebuild. Many say they will not leave until the job is done.
We've been here for about 14, 15 days.
Okay, and how long do you plan on being here?
As long as they need us.
Volunteers are providing everything from food, shelter, places to meet, even internet to those still reeling from the floods.
Well, looking ahead to Monday, District 9 plans to hold a blood drive to help the Hill Country flood victims. So this blood drive is expected to take place outside the District 9 City Council office. It's going to start at 9 a.m. and it'll go until 2 p.m. So appointments can be scheduled in advance. However, walk-ins will be accommodated if that space allows. So you can find all this information on our website, KSAT.com.
San Antonio Sports kicked off the Road to Race Day to get runners ready for the inaugural San Antonio Marathon in December. The event replaces the Rock and Roll Running Series, which was in the Alamo City for 16 years until its final race last year.
So the new marathon has a lot of excitement around it and still going to hold the same values, an event where everyone can run regardless of your experience.
Our mission is to transform the community through the power of sport. So being able to own and operate our very own signature marathon event is just such an honor for us.
And the San Antonio Marathon is going to take place on December 7th. And you can register right now. We have a link to that on our website, KSAT.com. Just search San Antonio Marathon.
And Stephanie will be there.
I will. I'm registered. Not ready to go yet.
No,
Need the training, but
okay.
I got the first step. The register.
You know what you're doing. You know what you're doing.
And your son is registered?
Luke is in for the 5K, and I'm still debating, but
yeah, it's time.
One way or the other, I'll be down there, whether I'm cheering or participating. So,
the weather will be cooler, though.
Yes, almost certainly, yes. Well, right now, not bad, though. 9:40, 81 degrees outside, and you're watching GMSA at 9.
Well, after the break, we're going to go behind the kitchen door inside 2 San Antonio restaurants, and what was found might make you think twice about eating their food. Welcome back. It's 9:44. Well, live and dead roaches, rotting food in the pantry, dirty walls and floors. That is what our Daniela Ibarra witnessed at 2 San Antonio restaurants this week.
If you're having breakfast right now, you might want to just take a little time out because Daniela is going to take us now behind the kitchen door.
What inspectors found inside Taqueria Jalisco 13 made this customer walk right out.
That's nasty.
We wanted to know if the Southwest Side restaurant cleaned up their act. Employees told us no manager was there.
Okay, well, we need to ask questions about the food report because
I don't know English. Just a little English.
Okay, I can speak Spanish too because some of the things that the food inspector found, dead water cockroaches throughout the restaurant as well as live German roaches.
Isn't this Taqueria? This Taqueria Jalisco?
6010 Old Pearsall. This is this restaurant.
Metro Health wrote up the restaurant for having an improperly sealed back door. In a pantry, an inspector found moldy jalapenos and tomatoes and food rotting on the floor.
If you read this report, would you eat at this restaurant? Si tú quisieras comer aquí y le dices ese reporte, quisieras comer aquí?
We headed up to Colony Drive on the Northwest Side to visit a supermarket we featured back in 2021. This time, Metro Health hit Man Pansan Supermarket with 17 violations. Throughout the store, an inspector noted dirty floors and walls, along with live and dead pests.
How have you guys cleaned that up?
Okay, so for that we have make an appointment for the pest control.
One of the issues that the inspector found is that an employee was using a rag to clean off a knife between chicken and goat. Is that acceptable?
Yeah, at that time maybe he forgot to maybe change.
The manager says he's worked to fix all the issues.
Thank you so much. It was nice to meet you.
That's what's behind the kitchen door. I'm Daniela Ibarra.
Oh,
now you can finish eating your breakfast.
Now you may resume.
Yeah, let's go to happier times at the zoo.
Always happier times at the zoo.
Flamingos are out on a Friday here doing their thing and enjoying, soaking up a little sun before maybe perhaps the clouds come in.
You gotta sunbathe. I mean, if for humans, remember to wear sunscreen if you do.
I was just going to say, yes.
Remember, always sunscreen, hydration. But I mean, the Flamingos are enjoying the sun.
They've got the built-in coverage.
Yes.
And everything.
Oh, don't have to worry about that.
For sure. And I mean, for us, we're going to start to see that built-in coverage in the clouds later today. We're already starting to see some just to the east of us, and it is going to continue to reappear throughout the next few hours. But once again, the rain chances return today. It starts this afternoon, and it's going to continue until Sunday evening. And most of them are going to be sporadic. Some of them can even be some brief downpours, but we're also still going to get much needed rain for us here in South Central Texas. The heavier rainfall totals will be closer to the coastal plains and the Gulf Coast, but don't be surprised if we do get some heavier rainfall totals in the city, but even that we're looking at maybe 1, maybe 2, if that, and that's the most we're seeing for that rainfall chance. Now here's that setup. Once again, I know I've been talking about this morning, but it's still a good thing to talk about. That high pressure, that was the weather maker throughout the last few days, but this low, it's still just to the southeast of Brownsville, and it's still continuing to have that counterclockwise rotation, and all of the moisture and that Gulf moisture specifically that it's been allowed to just sit and spew and gather is going to continue to take that counterclockwise spin and push all of that rain into areas of South Central Texas. Now, right now in San Antonio, we are not seeing any rain. Most of the rain is still just to the east of us or even well off the coast. Now, for the future cast, we are going to continue the chance of just that available moisture to still sit in areas of South Texas until Sunday. So here's the chance of what we're looking at. As we go throughout the next few days, yes, we are still going to see the brief showers and downpours like I showed you earlier with the actual future cast. But this is that available moisture. This is how much saturation and precipitable water is in the atmosphere. So with that saturated air, that's going to continue to get pushed into areas of San Antonio today and into tomorrow. Not only is this in South Texas, this is going to stretch up, including Arkansas, including Louisiana, and the rest of the Gulf Coast. Now, as that saturated air is getting pushed up, we're going to continue to see it try, but Saturday night, there is a small little bit of a very brief dry air trying to make its way into San Antonio. That's why we're going to see very, very small, what seems like a little bit of a break, but it's not going to be a break. We're still going to see that saturated air have the chance for more rain over the next little while. And then once again, that saturated air, we get one last push Sunday morning before more dry air continues to return as we go into Monday and Tuesday. But then we have more rain chances later on next week. Now, how much rain are we talking about here in San Antonio? Well, we're not talking about a lot of rain in San Antonio. It's going to be fairly light if we see anything. But even then, just to the east and to the south of us along the coastline, North and South Padre Island, and even then going up to Galveston, that's where we're seeing the chance and the potential for more rain. And with that, the Weather Prediction Center also highlights an area tomorrow because of the chance of those brief downpours. This is that marginal risk for any sort of flooding. I know it is a very sensitive topic. I know our hearts are still heavy with folks in the Hill Country, but the Weather Prediction Center did still put this out. Most of it should still be well to the east of us, but don't be surprised if there is some localized heavy downpours that do cause a little bit of some curiosity and inconveniences in areas closer to the coastline. So we'll keep you posted. But once again, it does not include San Antonio. We are not. The chance of flooding is still unlikely for us, and especially as you get closer to the Hill Country, but it's still something to keep your eyes on and still something we're watching very closely. But after the rain chances today through Sunday, we're drying out on Monday and Tuesday, seeing temperatures rebound back into those mid to upper 90s, drying out for at least 2 days before more chances of rain on Wednesday and Thursday. We're looking at another upper level system bringing us more chances of rain, and I know we'll get to that. We just want to focus more on chances of rain this weekend, but just giving everyone that heads up that next weekend, more chances of rain, guys.
Okay, well, a little break in between, though.
Yes, very much so. It'll be needed.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Shelby.
all right, thank you so much.
Well, speaking of heat, if you're looking for a way to beat the heat, well, we're not having rain this summer, SA Live has you covered.
Yeah, they're also celebrating National Candy Month by visiting one of San Antonio's sweetest stores. Let's check in with Jen and Jada for a look at what's coming up on today's show.
It's Parker's Ice Cream, a local spot that you will love to support. We've got Holly Picciano joining us. I had to say it like that. I love it. And let's talk about what makes your ice cream different from other places.
So we are a veteran-owned small business. We have all of our stuff is homemade gourmet ice cream. We focus a little bit on some boozy ice cream, but we've got dairy-free, family-friendly, small batch. We have 200 recipes that we go through, and we're going to teach you guys how to make one today.
We're going to class here. This is the perfect hobby for the summertime too, because this is a nice way to cool down, right?
Absolutely.
Parents and adults can do this, right?
Yeah.
Everybody?
Everybody. We've got ladies' night out, date night, kids, birthday parties, weddings,
ladies' night.
We're
ladies'
on
night.
We are ready. My wheels are already turning, Jen. Already turning. All right. Well, speaking of hobbies, that leads us to our question of the day. What are your hobbies? Do you have a hobby? We want to know. We want to be inspired. So scan that QR code on your screen. And keeping the theme of hobbies going, we are exploring the world of hobbies through my franchise, Jada Picks It, on the show today. I took my dad with me to go skating. That's one of our favorite hobbies.
So
and
cute.
we brought in a skating expert. Her name is Vanessa. Her Instagram is Skating with V. So you guys are going to see the class that she takes us through and hopefully get inspired for to get a hobby as well and to take a skating lesson.
Okay, I didn't know you can get somebody like, what was her name, Vanessa?
Yes.
And go do skating. And can I just say, you guys are the cutest, you and your dad.
It's so fun. We had a good time.
And this takes me back. Because I used to go skating all the time in middle school.
Childhood, right?
Right. And speaking of going back, Alamo Candy Co. will take you back. I mean, they've got that nostalgic candy, but also all the sour. Do you like sour, Jada?
I love sour. Okay. I am the Warhead girl, chamoy, Lucas, all the things. All the things that give us the cavities.
Yeah. I know, right? Dentists don't like it, but we love it. Those cherry bombs are my favorite. Stick around for that.